and they might have some concerns, but it can always be revisited. Yes? Kyle?
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Go through the public policy, see the children.
Okay. Okay. To be resolved, Mayor Drug Board Trustees, the incorporated authorities of the Village and University Park deemed is necessary to establish certain rules and regulations to govern the conduct of the meetings and proceedings, and the Mayor and the Board Trustees have determined that it is the best interest, not mine, interest of the Village, University Park residents to adopt the tax policy and the public comments attached to the resolution of Exhibit 1 to govern the conduct of the meetings and proceedings. That the proper officials, agent, and employees of the village hereby authorized and directed to take such action, further action as they deem necessary to appropriate to perform all obligations and comments to the village in accordance with the provisions of the tax policy. That the validity of any section, part, provisions, term, or phrase of this resolution shall not affect the validity of the remaining therefore. Excuse me. Further, it be resolved that this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after this passage and approval as provided by law. Now, I'm sorry. You want to read this? I got it. You don't mind. Yes.
Okay, just been asked to read this because obviously the mayor's not feeling well. So this is Exhibit 1, Village of University Park, Policy on Public Comment at Village Board Meetings. 1, it is the policy of the Village Board of Trustees to permit comments by members of the public at open meetings of the board or any subsidiary committee on current agenda items and any other matters of public concern. The Village Board of Trustees will permit comments by members of the public at regular village meetings at a time specified on the agenda for public comment. The public comment section of the meeting agenda shall be limited to 30 minutes in duration. Number 2, at the discretion of the mayor and board of trustees, persons wishing to submit further comments shall do so in writing for distribution to the mayor and the board for discussion and or resolution at a later date addressed to Mayor of Village of University Park, 698 Burnham Drive, University Park, Illinois, 60484, or by electronic email. Number 3, each person wishing to make a comment will be recognized by the mayor. Persons wishing to speak must state their name and the nature of the subject matter. All remarks shall be addressed to the mayor and the village board and not to any member thereof. The board members responding shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Number 4, each person desiring to address the village board shall first state his or her name and address for the record, state the subject, state whom he or she is representing, if he or she represents an organization or other persons, and shall limit his or her remarks to 3 minutes. All remarks shall be addressed to the village board as a whole and not to any member thereof. Number 5, public comment is not intended to require board members or village staff to provide any answer to the speaker. Discussions between the board members and members of the audience will not be allowed. The board will not necessarily respond to the comment provided at the public meeting at the same time comment is given. Consideration will be given to the public comment and further research may be required before the Board of Trustees takes any action regarding the public comment. Although questions may be asked of a village board member or a member of staff, those individuals may decline to answer when a complete answer requires research or deliberate consideration. Looks like number 6 is skipped, so it skips to 7. In order to expedite village business and avoid presentations, whenever any group of persons wishes to address the village board on the same subject matter, it shall be in order for the mayor to encourage that a spokesperson be chosen from the group to address the village board of trustees. If additional matters are to be presented by any other members of the group, the mayor may limit the number of such persons and limit the presentation to information not already presented by the group's spokesperson. Number 8, village residents shall be given priority in addressing the village board. Visitor statements and comments shall be limited to matters relating to the Village of University Park. Number 9, comments shall be presented in a respectful manner, and participants shall conduct themselves in an orderly and civil manner. Comments or language or lewd, insulting, provocative nature shall not be permitted. Number 10, after the speaker has made his or her comment, he or she shall be seated with no further debate, dialogue, or comment. Number 11, the mayor and board of trustees reserves the right to remove anyone who becomes hostile, argumentative, threatens the public's or an individual's safety, or is disruptive to the meeting. If the party being asked to leave does not voluntarily leave or cease the behavior, law enforcement will be called to remove the person. Number 12, this policy is intended to work in relationship to comments at public meetings rather than at public hearings. At a public hearing, the mayor and board must allow people to speak for a reasonably long period of time and generally need to allow such people to ask questions of the presenters.
Thank you. Any comment? Yes. Questions? Yes.
Okay, item number 3 mentions the board members responding shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Item number 6 has a statement that the board will not necessarily respond to the comment provided at the public meeting at the same time comment is given. We have this problem right now where nobody gives the residents a response. And I think back in November or whenever we initially did this, we didn't agree upon it because we were supposed to respond, and we had some notes on who was going to respond. I thought it was the village manager or somebody we selected or talked about, and none of that's in here. So we still don't have in this policy anything about responding to the residents when they have questions. And if we're going to do a policy, I think we should have that in there.
I believe it is in there that you have the option to respond if you'd like and have the sufficient information. It just lets the public know that if you don't have the information or you want to deliberate further, you don't have to necessarily respond at that meeting. This is really kind of no different than what we've been going through also, where the mayor has, I know in the last several board meetings, indicated to the public that she would respond back to them when she gathered the information.
We'll have someone, the proper people to respond.
Right. This is really, the policy as a whole is to try to provide a little bit better decorum with the board meetings to avoid a lot of the back and forth that goes on.
I understand that, but we had much discussion and it's not in here anywhere. We talked about putting on the website, answering all the questions, because a lot of times, with all due respect, Ms. Williams comes up here and says we always give blank stares. And sometimes we do. And we might need to sit down and formulate an answer, but when are we going to give it back to the residents? And this doesn't say when we will give it back. It doesn't say at the next board meeting. It doesn't say if it's going to be on the website, and it doesn't say who.
And I know that was a discussion about the website. Thought that would be a good place, because some of the villages do that. You'll hear the comments and the feedback, and it lets people out. Somebody else might have the same question, and it really helps out to have that. And we don't have a number 6 on here. It goes from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So maybe that was the one with all your information is missing. Okay. So do you want to amend it, or we need to make an addition to include those things that should be inclusive in this amendment? Well, we do have a motion on the floor, but that's something we need to do. Okay. Any other comments, concerns, input? Roll call.
Again, I just want to point out what is in here, where it says consideration will be given to the public and further research may be required before the Board of Trustees takes any action regarding the public comment. Although questions may be asked of the village board member or a member of staff, these individuals may decline to answer when a complete answer requires research or deliberate consideration. Nothing prevents you as an individual board member from commenting on something should you have the information to provide the citizen.
Well, I see that if it gives an opening there, so if I choose to do that, I'll just have to take it upon myself, or you, Trustee Wilson, if you want to take it upon yourself to respond to them, because they are due an answer, just out of respect. They have a concern. Instead of doing a FOIA, we can't do that, so it's open up. Okay.
Mayor, we, from time to time, when we have sufficient information, such, for example, for me in the financial area, I've given it a number of times, we will respond. You just heard Trustee Griffin earlier, when the issue was raised about the public comments. He indicated that, because the question was, where did you get your information from? He actually went to the Orland Park, and it was Tinley Park, and got the information, saw what they were doing, talked to the village managers. We had a workshop on this also, where we had extensive debate on this matter. When it was brought then to the board to approve, we also had additional discussion on it. So it's not like we're saying, we're just going to stare at you. If we have sufficient information, at least my position is, if somebody else doesn't respond and I feel I have information, then I will provide it.
Okay, roll call.
Whether you have a response or not, the people deserve something. Say you don't know if you don't know, but give them a response.
Now, there you go, you guys. She had a question, so we can give her an answer. Okay, roll call. Excuse me?
Just clarification on the motion.
Oh, to approve it, because to table it was denied. It failed, so now it's.
Okay, I heard that the motion failed to
Yes,
table it.
yes.
Who made the motion for this
I'm sorry.
resolution in a second?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought
So
were
we
done.
need a motion.
Okay, we do need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Ruiz, second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee. Second by Trustee.
So we're going back to the original motion.
Right. Okay, and a second by Trustee Griffin. Roll call, please.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Pass.
Trustee Wilson. No. Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Brunette.
Votes aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Votes aye.
Mayor Hudson.
No.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Okay,
Same old game.
that passed.
Madam Mayor, the resolution number is R 2017-06.
New business. Resolution authorizing acting village manager to accept bid for pre-tenant renovation of Unit 90 Town Center. There a motion?
So moved.
80. Okay, 80 Town Center, correction. Moved by Trustee Rudez, second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Larry Brown. Questions, concerns, comments? Trustee Payton?
Just so that we're clear, the letter from Ash Construction said that the renovation cost was going to be $20,000. This is in the next to the last paragraph. The quote says $20,248.01. And the ordinance calls for it to be $20,248.01. So I just want to make sure that we're going by what the detail total was and what the ordinance specified as the $20,248.01.
Need clarification?
The first initial inspection was the letter that he sent. He was here last week, and we asked for a detailed report, and this is what He sent it.
Whom?
The contractor.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All four were here, and that was his detailed final report.
So you're going with which one? I mean,
It's the lowest bid. It was Ash Construction,
$20,240.01.
the difference of $200, yes.
And they are registered with the village?
Yes, they are.
They background checks done on them? Because we've had some people that do work here and it falls apart and then it's just absolutely terrible, like our roofs, $400,000.
Mayor, I called the contractors, and they brought in their license and their village inspections, and I had 5 of them bid on the project.
And they're bonded also?
Yes, they are.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
they're on the preferred list, yes.
Now, when will this be done? Because I know he has a deadline of April 30th. I think that's the drop dead date. He's supposed to be in there. So are they going to? No, he told us April, Mr. I understand.
Can he speak?
Oh, excuse me, Keith, would you come up, please? The owner of the business is coming in, American Smile.
Hello, Board of Trustees and Mayor.
Yes.
I'm Keith Crittenden from America Smiles United Dental Resources. I'd also like to remind the board in terms of, I'd just like to make sure that we do get a good quality project done, is if we can remember, I raised my own rent $15,000 over a course of a 4-year period of time because the early non-official estimates were coming in at about 30 grand, and I wanted to share that cost with the village. So I just want to caution, make sure we don't go on the cheap, and as Mayor said, wind up with a project that we're not happy with. So again, seeing as how I raised my rent up to $15,000, I think we've got a little bit of room to make sure we get a good contractor. And also want to point out the need that we're going to definitely have to get some insulation between the walls. There was insulation there. You can see the pink fiberglass that was left behind. With the daycare right next door, we don't want our air compressors keeping the kids up while they're trying to take naps. And while we're talking on the phone, we don't want to hear the kids kicking and screaming either. So I think some sort of insulation needs to go in between.
Okay, are you going to be, I'm sure you're going to be entering part with him, with Gary, as far as looking at it or checking it out as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm only 3 miles down the road, so I'm available on 5-10 minutes notice. And also, too, as far as, I believe the lease agreement that we have says that the build-out will be done by April 15th. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but just for the record, I need to have that, I need access to that building done by April 30th. Because I'll need a full 30 days on my own. I'll need all of May to retrofit the building for our needs. So anything we can do to have that white box condition completed by April 30th is what I would need.
Have you discussed that with the contractor, Gary? Mr. Richardson, sir? Okay, and they can make that happen?
That's what they assured, yes.
Feel free to call.
Very good. Any further questions from me at all? And I just want to say thank you. I'm so excited to be part of University Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
So if it's agreed and the contractors told you they can get it done by April 30th, why does this resolution say May 15th? That's number one. And then number two, looking at their estimate, I don't see anything about installation. So will that make the cost go up? Because the other, Del Mar, they mentioned installation in their quote. And I'm glancing real quick at Rich Construction. Since he brought up installation, I'm checking to see. And there's Rich Construction also includes installation, but the one we've selected does not. Is there?
When they came in, tonight was the first we talked about the installation. We've been in the building, and he's been here for the past week, and evidently the sound barrier over the week is a caution of his. I just heard that tonight also. But as you can see, those proposals there start close to $55,000. So it's up to you to pick the one. We had 5 here, and those were the 3 lowest bids. with the time frame we're working on.
Okay, so my profession is environmental health and